I have told you a number of times that if I get something wrong or if I have to take back something, I will be the first one to acknowledge that, well, I made a mistake. And I have to say right now that I made a mistake with Kamala Harris because I sincerely thought that she was going to quietly go away and disappear from American politics. Boy, I was wrong because she's like trying to come back with this vengeance about after those 107 days. And she's like this bad itch that won't go away. Not even if you try to wash it away with Hennessy. No, that won't work. And now she wants you to know that the age of voting in the United States should be lowered to 16 years. Like 16 years old should be able to vote for climate reasons. I don't know. This is one of those rare instances in which I see that there's this clip trending online. I grab the clip, I make sure it has captions, but I don't watch it because I want to react to it like in real time. I haven't watched this clip. I don't know what's going to come out of her mouth. What I do know is the topic, the 16 years old voting and climate crisis put in there. I have no way of connecting those dots, so you're going to see me reacting to this right now. So let's watch it, shall we?
I think we should reduce voting age to 16. I'll tell you why. So, Gen Z, they're age about 13 through 27. They've only known the climate crisis. They missed substantial parts of their education because of the pandemic.
They have only known, what? But I had to read that again.
They missed substantial.
No, the other part.
They've only known the climate crisis.
They've only known the climate crisis. All right. You remember that first there was pollution, then there was global warming, there was global freezing. I don't know in which stage are we right now. We know that we want clean air, but, well, whatever.
They missed substantial parts of their education because of the pandemic. If they're in high school or college, especially in college, it is very likely that whatever they've chosen as their major for study may not result in an affordable wage.
All right, what exactly does that it have to do with the climate crisis? We are 1/3 into the clip.
They've coined the term climate anxiety to describe fear of not only being able to buy a home, but that fear will be wiped out by extreme weather, but fear of having children.
Wait. Fear of not being able to buy a home has to do with climate anxiety. That is a new one. I like connecting dots, and sometimes I have connected quite outrageous couples of dots, but I don't know how to connect, you not being able to afford a house or buy a house or not even get a loan for a house, which is an actual thing in the United States and many parts of the world, and climate anxiety. And maybe, okay, you can have climate anxiety because, well, the weather can be quite, random in some areas, especially of the United States. You have those hurricane, what is the name? Hurricane paths or something that, that you have to be wary where you buy your home. But that is where you buy it, not if you can actually afford it, which are two different questions. By the way, have to do at the same time that maybe some houses are more affordable. I'm trying to, I'm applying my mental gymnastics to try to make sense of Kamala Harris' words. I'm actually doing that right now. That's how much of a gentleman I am.
It is expected that Gen Z will have 10 to 12 jobs in their lifetime.
10 to 12 jobs. Well, I am Generation X, best generation in the history of the world. But whatever. I think I've had like 7 or 8 jobs, and that's been great because you develop a series of skills. Yeah, the other thing is that those jobs allow you to build those skills on top of have a talent stack, as Scott Adams says.
They are a larger number than boomers. There's a specific generation of people who are going to impact our nation and the world. And I think we must invest in them, but I think that they are rightly impatient with a lot of what is the tradition of leadership right now. And if they were able to vote, because they know everything that's happening right now is going to impact them more than anybody older than them for the most part.
I mean, I can understand the desperation, Kamala's desperation. She's trying to fix whatever, shenanigans she did with her campaign and all the damage she did with her campaign to the image of Democrats in general. I understand that she was scolded by Obama. She was scolded by the puppet masters that say you have to do better. You have to do something to fix whatever you did. And right now, since, that they will not be able to count on illegals to do their bidding and for illegals to tip the scales in their favors with the redistricting and how to manipulate the masses of illegals to vote for them or to, redistribute seats at the Senate. There's one way. And it's the same way that we are seeing in what's happening in New York City and the kind of people who are saying that who are going to vote for Zohran Mamdani. And I'm not saying that only young people are saying that they're going to vote for Zohran Mamdani, but it's usually the norm. It's like a meme at some point in which younger people are going to be more liberal. And as you grow older and you realize, no, socialism doesn't work. And if you have an ounce of IQ or a neuron or two working in your brain, then you realize, hey, you know what? Maybe capitalism was the way to go all along, and you go a bit more conservative. I think that happens to everyone at some point or another. Maybe I was never a liberal. I was more like a hippie back in like 30 or 40 years ago, or 30 years ago. And right now, I must say that I have way more conservative values than back then. That is a way to put it. And again, it's way easier. It's obvious that it's way easier to manipulate younger minds, especially if you have been conditioning them from school. It is no wonder that this would be a sound strategy in terms of brainwashing. It's easier to brainwash a younger mind. And not going to say that it's not easy as well to brainwash people who are older, but when the brain is more malleable, when the brain when the brain doesn't have enough experience to compare with experience of the real world, then people are more gullible. Younger people are more gullible, and we be a disaster. 16-year-olds vote because, at that age, one doesn't understand basically anything about the world.
In terms of how these systems work. If they're voting right now, at 16 and up, they're going to be talking about the importance of climate. They're going to be talking about the importance of figuring out.
I think, by the way, I think that I agree with Kamala Harris, but not the way that you're thinking. I'm going to tell you, I've seen the reports. I've seen the reports about this. And it turns out that Generation Z I see the rumors, and I've done my, kind of empirical research. And it turns out that Gen Z is way more right-wing than you can imagine. And 16-year-olds, might be already tired, especially male 16-year-olds are tired of all the woke and liberal stuff. I forget that piece of information. Yeah, they might be easier to, manipulate, but their policies have been so outrageous in the past, in the past 10 to 15 years, that so many Gen Z youth right now are tired of that stuff, are absolutely tired of that. And maybe, just maybe, if you allow 16-year-olds, that would be like, police wearing body cams, because, to make sure that we know what police does. And when you look at the footage that the police have in the body cams, then it turns out that, well, the police can be rather patient and polite and compassionate about stuff, and are the others who are doing the bad things. So maybe this is something that could backfire spectacularly for Democrats if 16-year-olds vote, because most likely those 16-year-olds are going to say, you know what, we're going to go full MAGA. That is. In fact, some MAGA people are saying that they feel like moderates in terms of what they're hearing from 16-year-olds, especially male 16-year-old boys. But maybe that is a good idea then.
Of climate, they're going to be talking about the importance of figuring out how AI is going to affect the future of the workforce.
No, I think that they are going to take advantage of AI, not worried of AI taking away their jobs, because they don't actually have a job right now. Maybe they do have, but most likely it's not related to AI. But they are the generation who can take advantage of AI and create with the AI. Yeah.
They're going to be focused on what are we really doing about affordable housing? And basically in politics, here's the hard truth about this. There are two centers of power that tend to influence how politicians think. Groups that vote the most and people who write the most checks. And I'm going to go every day with the people, and thinking about how do we strengthen people actually going to.
Yeah, but which one of the two? The people who the groups that vote the most and people who write the most checks, and I'm going to go every day with the people. Okay, she doesn't define which one. I guess the people who have the most influence, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that this is going to be those instances in which what they wish for, or Kamala Harris is saying, could backfire spectacularly, and I cannot wait for that to happen. But again, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. This is my American politics channel. Much love and bliss.